Hey everyone, welcome back to Keeping Up with the Chaldeans. I'm your host, Junior Bindu, along with Anthony Toma, my co-host. And today we've got the lovely Sandra Soka Treboldi from our good friends over at DOBI Real Estate.
Hello, guys.
So it's good to have you on, and
Thank you.
You're part of a great team because we know a few people in our community that work alongside you over there at the office. So good to have you, and a little different having you interview from our little fun rides that we take back in high school with your mom's Astro van, right?
Exactly.
Things changed.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here today with Keeping Up with the Chaldeans.
Cool. Well, let us know a bit about your relationship with DOBI, your team that you have going, and what do we get as the Sandra package when we come get a house from you?
Sounds good.
Or sell?
So I work at DOBI. DOBI is my brokerage. I have my own team, the Sandra Treboldi team, and I sell residential real estate. And I've been selling real estate for almost 12 years now, and I absolutely love what I do. And I love helping people find their home, sell their home, get to the next place in their life, whatever their needs are. I love working with people, families, and kind of, meeting people along the way and getting people to where they need to be. And I really strive when I'm helping people find their homes, really listening and learning to what their needs are and where they're trying to go, so that I kind of really make sure that they are happy with where they end up. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what makes me different with people. Mm-hmm. I feel like I treat people genuinely. Like if they're, for example, looking for something and they're single right now, mm-hmm. and I think long term, basically, like if they're looking for something and it doesn't have a basement, but right now they don't really care about having a basement because they're not thinking long term. I always think about, resale wise, and, mm-hmm. I make sure they have a basement. I make sure that, I'm thinking for them. And then eventually, they realize, oh yeah, that's great. I did get a basement. Because sometimes, when you're single or your situation is what it is at the moment, situations change within years. Mm-hmm. And I'm genuine about whatever I do. And I try to place people where they need to be and put them in a good spot for not just today, but down the road as well.
Sure. And right now, you come from a bloodline of hustlers. Your family has got it. We've had your brother on here before.
Yes.
Just Dayside Deli. Shout out to Spencer.
Yes.
But you guys ran into times, both of you, in two different businesses that ran through a pinch when COVID kicked in, right? It changed the dynamics of everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what do hustlers do in that time? What does Sandra do in those moments?
So hustlers, if you're a hustler, you're always a hustler. You never give up. You mm-hmm. never, ever give up. And you're learning as you're going, just like everybody else, mm-hmm. but you have to reinvent yourself. You have to come out of it better and stronger. You're learning as you're going, and you just literally have to figure out what's going to carve you out that from, what everybody else is doing. Mm-hmm. And, with real estate, just like when we were opening our restaurant in Birmingham, they shut everything down. Yeah. Well, that's been 2 years now. The trickle effect, that's what's happened with real estate, is when it shut everything down, people really started being in their homes more, where they used to travel and not care if they had a home office or not care if they had a pool, mm-hmm. or not, because they had, belonged to all this stuff. Well, now they're in their homes and they can't go to a pool where they had a membership because the pool's closed, mm-hmm. or they don't have a home office. Well, they didn't care before because they traveled so much. Well, that's just not the case anymore. Now people that are, in case this ever happens again, mm-hmm. or, with Zooms and the way things are working these days, people are home all the time. So they want a home office. Their needs have changed after COVID. They mm-hmm. want a pool. Where before, people didn't really want a pool, and they mm-hmm. didn't want, certain things. But now if they have to stay home, they actually want to enjoy their home, and they want to enjoy every, all the, their home and doing everything there, because that's might be where it's going. So also, in turn, it created lack of inventory in our market, mm-hmm. because with COVID, everyone obviously isn't selling their home or moving as much because, home becomes where the heart is. Mm-hmm. And now what we're experiencing 2 years later is a lack and scarcity of inventory in our market, in every city, in every state, causing just just
it's a rift.
It's a rift,
Yeah.
right? And in every industry, I feel like there's a shortage between cars or real estate or everything. There's become such a shortage, and it's causing prices to go up, causing interest rates to stay low, which is great. So you can buy more home, which is amazing. They've kept them historically low. You can buy more home with the low interest rates, but you are seeing not that much inventory. If a home does come on the market, it's gone within a day with multiple offers, with people having to go way above ask, with having to do a lot of things to get a home. Mm-hmm. So if you want to sell your home, that's where you call me, because today is the best time to sell your home.
But I want to touch on something that you said right now. So like I've talked to a few people because I'm in the midst of looking for a home right now too. My battle is, okay, I'll be sitting there talking to Anthony. Anthony tells me, hey, I got a house in my neighborhood right now. It's up for sale.
Right.
Okay. So I'm ready to go look at it, and then on top of that, I look at already the price is above what it should be.
Right.
So then I go battle it out, and then there's more people that raise the price up. So my mentality is, shit, I'm gonna pay way more than this home is worth. But then somebody on the flip side says to me, if you pay that today with the interest rate where it's at is better than to say if you paid lower for the home and the interest rate went up, then I'm paying almost, if not the same, if maybe more than what I would have paid in today's time. So can you clarify that a bit for us?
Which is actually true. So if you bought a home, you can afford more home than a couple of years ago because the interest rates are so historically low that you can afford. For example, if you were buying a home at $500,000 a couple of years ago, now with the interest rates so low, you could probably go up to $550 to $560 and get more home for a lower monthly payment. You are going to run into finding the home, bidding on the home, getting the home. But once you get through those obstacles and really being aggressive, like if you do find a home and you do see a home that you like, calling your realtor, getting in right away and doing what it takes to actually get the home, because you are going to be paying less of a monthly payment. And also, if you buy now, some people, the problem what's going on right now with people is they think, oh, I'm going to sit this out. I'm going to wait 2 or 3 years until the market adjusts. And I'm sorry to say, in 2 or 3 years, it's getting worse, and you're going to be wishing you bought 2-3 years ago, because it's just from last year, we're up 13.9% from last year. So my clients that I had from last year saying that they're going to wait would wish that they bought last year, because there's not even the same, surplus out there and the same, homes out there. So I would not suggest waiting. I think if you do want to buy a home, get in there, throw yourself in, and really get aggressive. It is, has its moments of ups and downs when you're looking for a home. It can be very exciting. It can be very frustrating as well. Sure. And that is why it is so important to have the right realtor or team on your side, because if they do, they're going to know how to navigate. Like I have a partner that works with me. Her name is Kristen, and she, holds hands better than maybe I do, or does things a little bit better than I do. I know how to get a deal done. She's a little bit better, with certain criteria. So when you have a team that works with you, you're going to be working with different people that know how to get you to the finish line easier and faster and seamless, to where you're not as frustrated and you're not, feeling the pain, because your realtor is really fighting for you. It's really your realtor, whoever you choose, is so important, because they got to fight for you. It's literally like getting an attorney and fighting for you for the biggest purchase and investment of your life, which is your home. So it is really important that you do match up with the right person.
With the climate today, you say throw yourself in there, get in there, buy now, whatever. What could somebody do that's out there listening, position themselves before putting themselves in a better position by being prepared and having everything in order?
Well, that's a great question. That's a great question. So a war is always won before it was fought. And being prepared is extremely, you cannot just start looking. You have to have a pre-approval letter. You have to talk to your mortgage lender. You have to make sure what you're qualified for, how much you're qualified for, what exactly, you could do if you needed to go 20 or 30,000 over, you need to basically have all your ducks in a row, and you really need to figure out what is it you're looking for? What is it you want? What are you okay with? What are you not okay with? And kind of be flexible and not just get stuck on, I want, you start the process of looking, and you think when you initially start, I want to be in this area, or I want a ranch, or I want a colonial, or I would never want this. And it's funny is people always tell me what they're looking for. And then when I send them something that I think it checks all their boxes, they might not like it, and then they send me something that is a tri-level when they're looking for a ranch. And I'm like, wait, you never want? They're like, yeah, but I love it. So, really just kind of coming from an open place, but really financially having your pre-approval ready, knowing what you qualify for, knowing what your mortgage payment is, so you are comfortable, and what you're, so it's not uncomfortable for you, and knowing what you can and cannot do is very important on how you proceed when you are jumping in. Don't just jump in.
So how does somebody prepare themselves as far as doing the research? Like, what would you recommend they start? Like, what websites should they go to? Where should they start looking, poking around?
So I would recommend talking to their mortgage broker. If they don't have a mortgage broker, call their realtor. Their realtor usually works with at least 2 or 3 point of contacts for mortgages. If you want to build a home, your realtor usually will have builders that they work with closely. And that's really nice when you get a recommendation from somebody because then you know how it's going to be to work with your lender, your builder, your title company, and really finding a home is really working closely with your mortgage lender first, and really figuring out what loan your amount for, what you're approved for, what your interest rates will be, and having maybe 2 or 3 ways of attacking it and knowing which way you want to go about it, so it's not so stressful. Because I feel like the financial angle is the most stressful, but once you know what you can afford and how much your monthly payment is, then you know how to look.
Right.
And
then what about helping them figure out the lay of the land, what's out there, what's available?
Then once they're done with the mortgage, then that's my job to help them. Certain people have certain needs and wants, like, what churches they want to belong to, what memberships they belong to, where they want their kids to go to school. Like, for example, if you have a kid with, some special needs, certain school districts are better for kids with special needs that, I would know about or know how to help you find, certain things. Or if if you're single and you want to live close to the downtown area, you kind of have to find somebody that knows the location that you like and really knows the area and has a network of other colleagues that I can call on and say, hey, I have someone looking at this. Do you have anything as a pocket listing? Or really, really coming up with, right now in this market, being creative is very important.
Right.
Thinking outside the box.
So you've got a bunch of different niches that you work with. One of them is the divorce industry, or the divorce part of it. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure, that's a really great. I'm glad you brought that up. Divorce is in the United States is about 51% right now. That's happening. It's really unfortunate when 2 people get divorced, and nobody sets out to be divorced. Nobody wants to be divorced. However, it is the reality of life. And I feel like in our Chaldean community, it's like a stigma of being divorced or the husband or the wife or, all of it. And it is a very sad thing. However, it happens. So now that it happens, because I've been divorced and I have 2 little boys, and I know what that's like, and it's a very vulnerable situation when it happens. And I like to educate people and really help, a husband or a wife or whatever get to the next, life, death. You're not dead when you get divorced. There's life. The next chapter. And there is life after divorce. And it can be a great life. And it will be a great life. And it's all about how you put your first foot forward. And helping somebody, basically, I come in, I work a lot with divorce attorneys. I come in, I help people, split their assets. I work with them selling their marital home, and then help the wife maybe get a home, help the husband, get a home, and really work with them to what their needs are through the process, because a divorce takes 6 months to a year sometimes, and kind of help them navigate through it and figure out where everybody wants to go, what's in the best interest of the kids, what's in the best interest of them. Because, even in our Chaldean community, we're seeing divorce a lot more like everybody else with, us being first generation now, or, moving, as we're progressing, as our Chaldean community is progressing, we are, doing everything as well. And I feel like, there shouldn't be such a stigma to it, and you're not dead. You're just moving on to the next chapter, and you can make the next chapter so beautiful for you and your family. And I love helping people in that world, because I know from my own experience how vulnerable you feel, and how it's a stigma. And I know that, it doesn't have to be like that. And I like to help people out of that.
Sure, that's nice.
Yeah.
Lesson's the biggest teacher in life, right?
Yeah, it is the biggest teacher in life, and experience, and you're not alone, and it can happen to you, and it can happen to your cousin and your friend, and it happens to people that never thought.
Good for you, because the stigma's tough.
Stigma is tough.
In our community, it rides really rough. I mean, it can be anything from whether if you have a handicapped person at home, or if if you're gonna be going through a divorce, sometimes it's like, ooh, it's like, wait, what? It's like, slow down, take a break from reality, from your bullshit little realm, and reality is you're a human being, right?
Right.
Mistakes happen, things happen, changes come. You know what I'm saying? But like you say, you're not dead in the water.
You're not dead in the water, and that's one thing that life has, is change is constant. Change is always happening, and sometimes negative, but you can turn a negative into a positive. And I feel like as a realtor, your home is your biggest asset, and that's what
sanctuary.
It's your sanctuary. And when you're going through a divorce, I feel like it cannot be your sanctuary. So if you find the right person, right realtor that kind of has been through it, I can kind of feel your pain, because I know what you're experiencing. I know what the divorce attorneys are telling you on both sides. I like to help get everybody to the next level, and see both sides, and kind of work with everybody. Because unfortunately, even though in our community especially, and I think any small community, Chaldean being any community that's ethnic, it's kind of not talked about, or not, people openly talked about. But if you see your friends or your peers, I would say half of them might be divorced.
Or on their way out.
Or not happy, or whatever. And I just think that it's so important to find the right person that you click with, that gets you to the next level that you can, work with.
So as you're doing this, maybe a little spin-off could be that you can pair up another relationship and say, "Hey, June, I got maybe
totally match."
She's got a house coming.
Well, a realtor is like a matchmaker.
That's what I'm saying.
A realtor is a matchmaker.
Yeah.
It is a fact, because finding a home is like dating, and dating is literally like finding a home as well, because you go through all these homes just like you date, and you find you can walk in a home that I would never think is for you, and you're like, I love it. Just like you might meet somebody
that's so far off from
for somebody else, but to
you,
you're like, I'll take their flaws, because I actually like everything about them, or I don't mind if they have kids, or I don't mind if they, whatever the situation is. So yeah, I have a whole thing I do on my Instagram about matchmaking, and it is like dating, and it is like finding your date or your match or your spouse, because that's what a home is like. The minute you walk in it, just like when you meet somebody, right?
So we talked about divorce, and we talked about the next chapter, and you have this thing on your on your finger.
Yes, I'm
Why don't you
recently
tell us about that?
engaged.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm recently engaged.
Shout out to Mark.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Mark Beshany. I am recently engaged. Like I said, you're divorced, you're not dead, and it's you can really turn your life around, and you can really, go off and be happy. And I've just been engaged a week, and I have 2 little boys, and it's really important to find somebody that loves your kids, because your kids are everything, and they're the first thing that comes first, and that's what matters. But also finding someone that meshes with your family, and literally, loves you, loves them like you love them. And, I've been divorced for 5 years now, so I was single for a really long time. And it's not easy being single. I would never tell you it is. However, if the right person is out there for you, and God's timing is better than our timing. I'm big into God, and I could do nothing without him. And he, his timing is way better than, and it's better and it exceeds your expectations. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank
you found
you.
a new partner in
Thank
life.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
My turn.
Yes, your turn.
Find me the home and the partner.
Yeah, find you
I'm
the
making
home.
I'm giving you double commission.
Do I get a double cut?
Double commission.
Do I get a finder's fee?
That's what I'm saying. Double commission for the boo-boo and for the house.
Yes, exactly. I'm down. I'm in. I'm all about it. Because Junior deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yes.
we're talking about building teams. You have a team that you're looking to build?
Yes, I would love to build more on my team. I would love to bring in new realtors or people thinking about going into real estate. I can help you get into real estate. I would love to educate you. I would love to help you, if you wanted to join my team, help you get into real estate and get clients. And really, real estate, it's not for the faint of heart. It's a very tough industry, just like any industry. But if you love it and you're cut out for it, you could really, really do well financially for yourself. And not even the sky is the limit in real estate. Anything that you can work as hard as you want, you can work not as hard as you want, but I would love to be a part of it. And if you are thinking about getting into the real estate world, maybe thinking about joining my team, and I can, kind of guide you and walk you through it and be your coach in it and kind of watch you grow, because I would love to be a part of that.
In that industry, it's you eat what you kill, and
pretty much.
A lot of people, most people don't go from good to greatness without a mentor, and I think you would be a perfect mentor for people out there that are really trying to get into it and are really going to take it seriously, because you don't want to waste a mentor's time. That's the worst thing you could do. That's almost pure evil to take a mentor and waste their time.
Yeah.
So if you're really serious about it, she's the person that can help you through.
I would love to help
you mentor.
Thank you. I would love to help anyone mentor that's really serious about it, because I had a mentor, and I think that everybody needs a mentor. And I think that, if you're serious about it, real estate can really be the vehicle that takes you to the next level and really helps your family, helps you. And it's, I sell real estate, and because I have 2 little kids, I can do it out of my car. I do it in the office. I don't, I show homes. It really gives you a flexible schedule. And listen, it takes a while to build a clientele, but I can also help with that. And it takes, like anything in life, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right?
Sure.
So if you put your grind in it, and you're hustling it, and your mind on it, there's nothing you can't accomplish.
But again, if you want to be great, you need a mentor.
Yes.
You need grit. You need determination. You need to be all in.
You need to be all in. I mean, I hear so many no's a day, and to finally get a yes, even at my level, I'm always working with clients, builder, no, it's more no's. And you just gotta persevere through every situation that you're in. Right?
Do you remember your first closing?
Yes, I remember my first closing. It was in Birmingham. It was on Hazel Street. It was a little ranch. It was 3 bedrooms. It was $189, and I think that house now goes for like $350, not remodeled.
No shit.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And prices are just going up, man.
$180 to $350.
$350. Yeah.
Doubling up.
It's crazy.
What's the biggest ticket house you've ever sold?
Well, the biggest ticket house I've ever sold, I think, was $3 million. But the cool part is when you sell a house, sometimes you get to double dip it.
Yeah.
So that's when it makes it even more.
Tell us what a double dip is.
Double dipping it is when you have the buyer and the seller.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, sometimes when people really, work with you and they really know that you're honest and they like working with you, your clients usually call you back to sell their house, and then you can maybe find them a house where you got both the buyer and the seller, and you're the agent on both, and you got to steer. It's very hard to do being a dual agent. However, you got to be honest. You have to really have everybody in mind, and really steer everybody the right way. Not steer the deal in any way, but steer everybody in the best situation, and
Yep.
and really working with both the buyer and seller, and that's kind of when you become a dual agent, and that's a beautiful thing too.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so that happens a lot when you're working with so many different people. It kind of ends up happening a lot.
So you talked about your new found ring.
Yes, engagement.
So it was you and Mark on a boat, right?
Yeah, we were on a sailboat, and he proposed to me. We were in Cabo San Lucas, and we were on a sailboat, and I thought we were going to watch the sunset.
Uh-huh.
And I got more than it was awesome.
Did you feel like somebody else was there cheering you on?
Somebody else was there cheering me on. Yes, and I actually met Mark after my best friend Chris Petros died with Deluxe Flowers. Number one. I think anybody that had a wedding or did their flowers knew Chris Petros. And Chris, if you met him, I think either made you laugh or cracked you up.
Or made you cry laughing.
Made you cry laughing.
Yeah, cry laughing.
Yes, and I don't think you could ever forget Chris, even from one meeting. And everybody would always want more and always would want to crack up with him and hang out with him. And I really feel like he delivered Mark to me, because I met him after Chris died. And him and Chris are kind of similar, and they're funny, and they're like, and Chris... no one would be happier for me than Chris, and it's kind of hard to believe that I'm engaged without him being by my side, because him and I have been friends, besties, like my brother from another mother since I was 18. He's been with me through everything, and he'd be the first person planning a wedding, and I probably couldn't afford the wedding.
That he planned, right?
He's by your side. You just don't see him.
Right, right. And
That's
I feel
just how it goes.
Right.
When great people like that go and they're in your life, you gain a guardian angel.
You gain a guardian, and I feel like he was my guardian angel. And believe it or not, he's the first person I texted when it happened, and I know nobody would be happier for me than him. And it's crazy how life works, and I know he's watching over me. So
for sure.
For a long time.
Yeah, for a long
You get to
time
see
he
him
was
again,
he was my buddy, and and I know everyone that was his friend, family, friend, everybody. He touched so many people, and death is so final.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You made everybody feel like they were the one, like they were special, and obviously you have a different relationship.
But you had a relationship with him,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was awesome. Isn't there a time
early on when I started the modeling and acting company, we had a second anniversary, and it was called French Toast. He dubbed it French Toast.
Oh,
He had Georgia Metropolis kind of getting some ideas with him, and you talked about not being able to afford it. We went from it was at Industry.
Yeah.
We went from I don't know, $5,000 budget to like $26,000.
Oh yeah, and he made you feel like you needed that.
It was the most elaborate party that was crazy.
How gorgeous was it when he was done?
Amazing.
And he might have gave you 26, but it really was 50,000 because he's
absolutely.
so abundant.
Oh yeah,
in everything he did.
Yeah, he was. It was a beautiful
And he made sure
event.
he let you know he loved you by calling you a bitch.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And some people would get offended by that, but I'm like, that's actually if he called you that was a term of endearment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that means nothing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but some people would like. I'm like, no, that doesn't mean he's really calling you a bitch. But yeah, no, he was larger than life, and there will never be another one like him. And
God bless him.
God bless him and his family. Yeah.
Remember this then, and he passes it on, and many people like him in our community who have gone past it on. Legends don't die.
No, they
that's
don't.
a fact.
They just don't.
No.
They stick around. And 20 years from now, we're gonna be running into each other, and we're gonna still say, "Remember Chris?"
Yeah. You can't forget Chris.
No, just like it's like what our good parents instilled in
Yeah.
us. Your reputation is your most important part. No
And
matter
your
how
word
much money
and-
you make,
yeah.
no matter say how many homes you sold,
Yeah.
how many things we did. It's your
What are they
your
going to
name
remember?
is your name.
Or your materialistic, like, I feel like sometimes in our culture, the Chaldean culture, it's like, I feel like people think material objects, cars and
that's
watches
perception.
and all that
Perception.
stuff is important. Mm-hmm. It's not. At the end of the day, who you are as a human, who you help to helping others, paying it forward, giving back, and really being infectious when anyone meets you, like Chris, when they meet you, you kind of put a smile on their face that day and move them forward, and that's what people will remember about you, not what car you drove or not what house you lived in or any of it. And I'm not saying I love cars and I love houses.
You're right.
Yeah.
But who you are as a human.
I'm not going to say Sandra was so cool she had this car.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, man,
Right.
Sandra was my girl, man. I remember the times we did this when we were all young.
Right.
You put that in, and that's instilled, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? But
right.
the money means nothing. It doesn't go with you.
No, we all wanted, having drive and making money and all that's great.
Comes and goes.
But who are you as a person and what do you give back to others when you meet them? Everybody's got struggles throughout the day. And when you do come into their presence, what do you give off and what do you leave and what do they remember you as? For me and as Chris, it was my bestie, we both kind of had that, and where I feel like you always, and both of you kind of actually have that as well. I feel like both of you always, everybody feels the same way about both of you guys, that you guys both have an infectious laugh. You guys both have a great personality. Like even just doing this platform for helping other Chaldeans get to know about other Chaldeans is a beautiful thing. And honestly, people will always remember it. And it's a beautiful thing to always give back.
Thank you for
right?
saying that.
Yes.
I
No,
appreciate
of
it.
course.
And inevitably, we're all going to join Chris.
Yeah.
And we're all going to see him again.
Yes.
Are you going to say, hey, bitch, what
Yes,
were you doing down
who are
there?
you?
Well, I was gone this
Yeah.
whole time. That's what he's going to want to catch
Exactly.
up on, so. Chris.
Exactly.
Well,
Hopefully no time soon.
No, just we will.
Right.
But,
He's with us.
This would be
Yes.
a good timing to go into a question that, we ask Anthony, always asks at the end of our shows, or we ask. So if you want to, give her the question and see this.
So we close out the shows
Yes.
by asking and kind of putting our guests on the spot. What does it mean to you to be Chaldean?
Oh, what it means to be Chaldean. So for a long time, I fought being Chaldean because
Yeah.
I have
did.
to be honest with you.
You did.
I fought it. I always wanted to be everything but Chaldean as I was younger, and I've always wanted to meet new people and experience new things and do things that no one, I didn't want to be put in a box and all that stuff. And now that I'm older and I have kids, I've never been prouder
Yeah, right.
than to be Chaldean, because us Chaldeans, we come from we are cut from a different cloth.
For sure.
We are hustlers through and through. Our culture instills in us to really love each other and love one another, and really being Chaldean really is honestly the most beautiful thing, as having your culture and your people and your language that nobody really speaks. I speak Arabic, and I tell you, I probably speak it when I'm out of town in a cab or anywhere more than anybody. I was just in Cabo. I was in the pool speaking to Assyrian people, in Arabic the whole time, and it was beautiful that you can connect with so many, being what we are. And, I hope my kids feel pride in it as well. It took me a minute to feel it, but now that I'm older, I do love being Chaldean, and I do love belonging to our culture. Even though sometimes they're a little closed-minded, I feel like we're being open-minded. I think our new society now, and with way life is going, I feel like Chaldeans are really, really, really taking the platform and going to so many levels, with what we're doing. And it's so, I'm so proud when I see judges that are Chaldean, women judges that are Chaldean, judges, attorneys, and we're all Chaldean. I find such a pride in that.
Doctors, everything.
Because I know that maybe their parents didn't even speak English, and we had to get, go to college and do things that we didn't have the opportunities. But not only are we doing it, we're rising above and doing it better than most. Excelling at it. And so that's the cool part about being Chaldean.
Awesome. So I've known you for a very long time.
Yes.
But I just, not recently, but in the past 5 years, realized that you realized that you were Chaldean, or found out that you were Chaldean.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
because I really, for a long time, always wanted to I like being Chaldean, but I didn't like some of the boxes they put you in. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always worked, and I've always, wanted to kind of not just get married and have kids and not be, something else than just someone's
Pigeonholed
wife.
into a
Right.
the house.
Right,
wives.
which I love being a wife and I
Sure,
love
of
being
course.
a mom, and that's always comes first. But I love to contribute and I like to help. So it's
You have a beautiful career and a very,
you.
very, very positive career. which
Thank
is
you.
great.
Yes, and my biggest
You're a good role model, too.
Thank you. And I have 2 little boys, and I know they're watching me, and I want them to always be proud of me, and I want them always to know that their mom, is doing just like I expect from them. I want them to look at me and be proud of their
Absolutely.
mom. So
Close us out, Junior.
yes.
All right. So before we go, just want to make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got Sandra Soka Treboldi from the DOBI team. Shout out to DOBI, by the way. You've got a great
Yes.
team that you
Yes,
guys have
DOBI.
on there.
Yes,
And,
yes.
shout out to the Chaldeans you also employ amongst the group that you have that all hustle with you guys too. So
Yes.
to all the team out there, what's up from us, keeping up with the Chaldeans. Find us on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, any type of platform you can listen to us, watch us. All of Sandra's information will be below. So not only can she help you with your homes, but in the case of, again, if there's a divorce situation happening, reach out to her. She may be of help for you too. So from myself, Anthony Toma, Sandra, signing off, saying peace, and make sure next home goes to her.
Yes.
Mentor Sandra.
Yes.